Okay, welcome to podcast. It's another Tuesday, 3 p.m. on the dot, and you know what's going down. It's time for candid conversations to find out what's going on, what's popping. And today I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have this guest on podcast for so many reasons. And I've been trying to get Phyzix. We have been trying to get Phyzix for a whole year. A whole year. And to have him in this room today is an honor. Welcome to podcast Phyzix.
Thank you so much. It feels good to be here. Yeah.
Bon Noel Chikoleka.
Yes. I actually have a very long name.
Okay, what's the full name? What's the full name?
Noel Limbani Innocent Jack Juma Chikoleka Banda. That's my full name.
Wow. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So you are namesakes with Tay Green Limban.
That's the bro right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad to have you for so many reasons. And
Wow.
I've been waiting for us to sit on this podcast, switch on the mics and have this conversation.
It sounds good to
For
me.
so many reasons, of which most of them we're going to talk about them here, right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mhm.
Okay, so this podcast is proudly sponsored by Crypto University. If you want to learn how to trade, do Forex, NFTs, sell with all those what are those currencies? World currencies, not
Yeah.
just for nationals and whatnot, but anything crypto that you want to learn. Log into cryptouniversity.network and learn how you trade, how you can buy, purchase, and all those things. People are making a lot of money from cryptos. So thank you so much, Crypto University. We have a conversation today, Noah.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. To start with,
Yeah.
it doesn't get any better for you than when we mention Jola Pizza.
Facts.
And then the word Jola Pizza also came with another name,
Yeah.
Gamba.
Yes.
When I look at these names and you as a person, sometimes they get a bit confusing. Like, okay, because like when you walked in here, you said, always in suits and whatnot, because that's how you always are.
Yeah.
But then when you look at the character of Chola Pizza from your song,
Yeah.
it's a whole different person.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, can we get there now? What was behind Chola Pizza as a song?
Okay, I think Chola Beats as a song was really about my growing pains. You know, when I was younger, I was a bit of an angry kid. You know, I had a lot of inner demons. You know, had a lot of like anger issues from like my disagreements with fellow kids back then. When I was in secondary school, you know, people tried to tease me in Form 1. So I just had all these issues, you know, I had to let out. So when I was much younger, I was more of like a violent person. I used to like to fight a lot. But by the time I was writing Chola Pizza, I was a person whereby I was more composed with life. So my outlet, you know, for my anger, for my issues became music. So Chola Pizza was a time when I decided to make what I was calling character music. So I was creating a character and explaining stories, you know, through that lens. You know, so in 25, when I moved from Area 12 to 25, I was seeing people who are behaving in that way.
Okay.
You know, people who are violent, you know, people who are not dressing, you know, well, people who are just drinking every day, people who are being unruly. So I put all those things I was seeing into a song and into a character called Chola Pizza. But eventually, Zinandi Tsalila, Chola Pizza is not
You were. Okay. And then Gamba.
Gamba was a continuation of Chola Pizza, whereby I was making character music. So I went deeper into a person who is like wanting to get better through hustling.
Okay.
You know, so that's why after Gamba, it extends to Gamba Wasuti. So basically, a Gamba is somebody who do whatever it takes to make it. Like, you know, like a hustler, basically. So I chose the word Gamba because it had a ring to it. And eventually, it also became my AKA as well. So basically, somebody who's working hard, you know, to make it happen. Yeah.
Okay. So somehow we could say the Chola Pizza character is something that you had embodied as a kid. You know these characters
Yes.
being an unruly kid and all that.
Yeah. Actually, even that time before Chola Pizza, I used to call myself the Lone Ranger because
yes, because I remember you, I think, from the Lone Ranger thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And
So-
I think it was also a title for
my album, my
okay.
debut album. So it was like I was a loner. I was pretty much an introvert. I had to work hard to become an extrovert like I am now. So I was the Lone Ranger, somebody who was always alone. So that's how I gave myself that name. But I got it from a cartoon character that I used to watch when I was younger. So, they had like the Lone Ranger way of life. I was actually following it like a creed, about just being in solitude, just meditating, thinking of like solutions and just ideas. So it was really a way of life for me. So at that time, the type of music I was making was character music. I would create characters and share stories through those characters. Yeah.
I see. Now that you have talked about you being a lone ranger most of the times.
I'm no longer a Lone Ranger now.
Because like these days I see like, wherever you are, it's like,
I got goons
all the time. But there was a time that I used to meet you and you're always in your headphones.
Yeah.
Up
That
in
was
the
me.
north. It was like every day I meet you, you like walk in the corridors, you're always in headphones, listening to music, and you're always alone.
Trust me, like cartoons, they always have like Dexter's laboratory. He's always got like an outfit. Flintstone always has an outfit. Even for me, when I was in Zeus at Zeus University, people used to do cartoons of me. But if you want to know if that cartoon is Phyzix, headphones, basketball vest,
yes, and then
basketball shorts and slippers. If you just see a cartoon dressed like that, that's Phyzix. And an afro.
Yes.
Trust me, I had hair.
Yes.
I had hair. Once upon a time, I had hair.
I remember this so vividly. Okay, why I was saying this conversation is very interesting for me is because I went to Nzuzu University.
Yes.
And when I got selected to come to Nzuzu University, I got selected as what we used to call 2B student of campus.
Yes.
And I remember the only person that I knew was at Nzuni at some point was you.
Yes.
And I don't know, I think it was DJ Tenba.
Yes.
Gave me your number and I called you. I like, this kid, I'm coming to Nzuni. So I just want to learn more about life at Nzuni.
Yeah.
And like you gave me a number, like I'll talk to this guy. I know you didn't even remember that.
Wow. Trust me.
I
don't remember.
Yeah. And I called you, introduced myself. I've been selected to come to Nzuni. So I know somebody gave me your number that you were at Nzuni.
Wow.
You like just like helped me with like moyo kuti wawa kunzuni.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Off campus.
Yeah.
What's it up? Like you was just like welcoming. I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and when I met you at Nzuni, I wouldn't even like come to you like, I would just like say hi and in the corridors and whatnot.
Yeah. Wow. Beautiful.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, because we've already started talking about Nzuni, I know that you were at Pole before you went to Nzuni.
Yeah.
And that make us kind of share some similarities.
Yes.
Because I also went to Pole before going to Nzuni.
Wow.
Tell me what was happening at Pole and what was your experience?
Okay, for me, I finished my Form 4 at Marist in 2004.
Okay.
2005 was Gwelodi. So 2006, I was selected to go to the Polytechnic to study a Bachelor of Science in Engineering. And I was going to major in civil engineering.
Okay.
So that was never my choice. I never wanted to go to the Polytechnic. My choice was to go to the Chancellor College.
Okay.
I wanted to study social sciences because all of my uncles had gone to Chanko. So I knew the Chanko stories, when I visited them. And also I had an interest to study social sciences. Okay. I wanted to eventually do economics or psychology. I think I had a passion for those two. And I think I had a passion for law as well growing up. So when they took me to Pole, the very first week, I went to the Dean of Students' office and I was a frequent guest at his office saying, I don't want to be here. Is it possible? I want to go to Chanko. So he said, no, but your grades are good with the sciences. You did so well. You've got distinctions in all the sciences. I had distinctions.
Like you come there with the distinction. Like
I had distinctions all over the place. And they thought it wise with the grades I had, I would shape up to be an engineer. So, but, I kept going there. I really don't want to be here. So coincidentally, the same 2006 was the time that I met the Daredevils, and we recorded the song Jola Pizza.
Okay.
So instantly, Yaro, first year student, is now a superstar and also doesn't want to be on that campus. Yeah. So I was mostly at the studio. I wasn't attending classes. So as these mostly all the courses, but especially these science courses, right? You build on fundamentals.
Yes.
You lay a foundation. So whatever you're advancing with, it's based on those fundamentals. So I missed the majority of the first semester. I wasn't attending class. And also, there's continuous assessments whereby when they're doing mid-semesters and whatnot. So I missed all of that because I was trying to sort of like mad demo it.
Yeah.
Good, no, then I won't go to class because I don't want to be here. I want to go to Chanko. But eventually, at the end, closer to the end of the second semester, whereby reality was now hitting to say, I think I'm a polytechnic student.
Okay.
I'm not going to Chanko. I started attending class, but it was a bit too late because my continuous assessments were already low. So came end of year, I didn't do well. So I was withdrawn from the polytechnic on academic grounds, not because I was dumb. I'm actually super smart. So it's because I wasn't going in class, and because I was always, absconding classes and being at the studio, and eventually that happened. When that happened, I did I issued what do you call it, a request to see if they can consider, at the university office. I sent that letter, took my case there. It was never considered. They said, no, we're withdrawing you on academic grounds. Despite that, you had a case to say, you want to go to Chanko, but we will not accept your appeal because you missed classes. So in the same year, there was an announcement that Nzuzu University is recruiting students. So I applied. Immediately I got, if it's not 1A, what's that?
2A. 2A, 2B.
If you're not 2A, because my grades were good. So I didn't have a campus.
Okay.
Yeah, so eventually, immediately I went to Nzuzu University. So when I went there, tinafika bendika, takuzumuka, right? Let me do my thing. So first year was good. I did well, got into second year. So second year was now 2008. So now Jola Bitaya Gamoto, 2007 I dropped a mixtape, 2008 I dropped another mixtape, I dropped Gamba, Ndayaga Somoto. Lake of Stars, yoyamba kabanga perform, ndili second year of college. My very first Lake of Stars was 2008. So I was big, I was a big hip-hop artist and a big upcoming hip-hop artist. So namba gomedwa sonima show. I'd go for shows in Lilongwe, shows in Blantyre while at school. And eventually, Tinabangaso affect again, and I got withdrawn for the second time, So when that happened, my family was not happy because my family always knew they always knew. So it was a bit, heartbreaking to see Guti, I'm not putting my priorities straight. The music was affecting me. So my family would say, we support you. We know you love music, but I still need to be in school. So eventually, the little money I was making from the music, my pangabeza gere, and my sisters especially were sending me money, sending me school fees. Nabanga joined the Center for Open and Distance Learning, Nzuzu University, where I did ICT. Right after that, I went to the Polytechnic. I did marketing under the Chartered Institute of Marketing. Then I got employed. My first official job, I was working for TAPS, at his marketing agency. So within the first...
TAPS Bandawe?
Yes.
Okay.
Within the first 3 months, I also got a job at SFFRFM, Smallholder Farmers Fertilizer Revolving Fund of Malawi.
Yeah.
I was there as a sales clerk. That was the job they got me for. But when I got there, they gave me a different job. If my sales clerk. So they mind the FISP, the subsidy program.
Yes.
So I'd move all over the southern region, kuendela ma sales clerk amene okana ukulimenelo. Kutolera makuponi, kutola ndrama, then I'd come to Lilongwe, kuzapanga reconcile. Kuna office na gaboma opposite British Council. Tinkati kuchano. Opposite British Council. Kumeona British Council gale ku Lilongwe. Yes, there was a I think it's still the government office in Ag. Temazapanga reconcile kumene kuchako. So that was my first official job. Okay. Then I saw a vacancy ku Opportunity Bank and kafuna what they were calling customer consultants. Then Nalembera, I got the job ku Opportunity Bank. within the first, I was supposed to be there only for 6 months as a temp.
Okay.
And within the first 3 months, Nadenged on a permanent basis as a marketing officer based in the southern region. Within the same year, Nadenged anga the marketing officer kupita ku head office kulilo.
Yeah.
The next year, next year, I'm marketing manager, got a job with FDH. Then she recommended me to become the marketing manager. So I became a manager at a very young age for a bank,
Yeah.
Opportunity Bank. I worked there for years, I think 3 years. Then I got another job, an American company. It's called Woman Care Global. What they do is they do reproductive health products as well as reproductive health methods. So I was there more or less like a country manager for that American organization. I was there face for that project in Malawi. So I'd move across the country, when I was working there. Then eventually Opportunity Bank called me back, but I want you to come back. I went there, worked as a marketing manager for a little bit. Then I was promoted to become head of marketing. Then after that, Opportunity Bank was acquired by First Capital Bank.
Okay.
So I worked with them for a little bit until I got an offer to join NBS Bank. So that's who I am till now. I was marketing manager for some years, I think 4 years. Then I moved to private banking. So that has been my journey. So in that whole time, I have been doing self-study, doing chartered banker, doing marketing, doing IT. I did things, HIV, AIDS, what. I've just been studying a lot of things. I was like, get it. That's what is it?
Okay.
So I've just been, I don't even know what in a specialist. I did digital marketing, So basically, I'm known more as a banker and known more as a marketer, but I actually studied a lot of things. So that has been my professional career and also education. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And I think that alone, even
Yeah.
I think would sit there for hours to just like unpack that experience.
Yeah.
Because I was saying, we have like a lot of things in common.
Yes.
Because I went to Poly myself.
Yeah.
I studied there.
Yeah.
I got withdrawn after first year. I was also doing engineering.
Yeah.
But then, even when they were withdrawing me, I had already been selected to go to Nzuni.
To
So
Nzuni,
it
yeah.
was like an automatic
Good
thing.
grades are good.
You see? So I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I went to Nzuni and I was there for like 4 years and everything.
Yeah.
Crazy things happened as well. So I was even unable to graduate from Nzuni.
Yeah.
After 4 years and all that. So, but every time I meet people that I was with, let's say at Poly, at Nzuni, there's always this mfana ndiwashi bwana, mfana yu kapena. So there's always like but people that know me I'm smart.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think
it's destiny,
Yeah, I think so. And if I want to learn from you, when you look at that, all that happened at Poly and Nzuni, and now you're here now.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that probably gave up on their goals, aspirations because they failed academically. But you've been like all over, you've done all these things.
Yeah.
What could be that thing that you think you hold that has taken you this far? Okay, I'm a banker, I'm a marketer. You can actually literally just go anywhere and get your things
I've actually
done.
been a board member for the body that governs marketing in Malawi. I've been a board member for 2 terms.
Okay.
So I've actually pushed the professional side as well.
Yeah.
Not just music. One thing I also missed, my first job was actually, I was a barman. I was a barman and DJ at Cinderella nightclub. When I finished my Form 4, I was a barman at Cinderella nightclub in Area 25B.
Okay.
So I would go put a playlist as a DJ, then go be a barman. Even my big brother Alexander, I would come with his friends, barman, what's so weird? just to play with me, shout out my brother. So that was actually my first job as a barman. But what I would say was, for me, I had this conversation with one of my mentors in the industry, Staps Pandawe. He's a big brother. We had actually a conversation to say, sometimes there's something that draws you, something that pulls you towards a certain direction. You don't know what it is, but you feel it so strongly that you just want to do something about it. For example, at my age and, at the level where I am as a professional, I work hard in music so much like an upcoming artist.
Yeah.
Even I don't know why.
Okay.
Because if I stop, like let's say recording music, going to perform at shows, promoting my stuff on social media, I feel like
You're missing something.
I'm missing something. I wake up, I'm always thinking of ideas for songs. I'm always calling producers. I'm a beat bunch. I'm always calling I say, "Nigga, record." So I know what I've done is I've just accepted it to say, I think there's something in my destiny that's calling me. And for me to find that, I need to keep following. I need to keep like pushing. Then eventually, I think a day of realization will come when I'll say, oh, this was happening for me to arrive here. What I'll tell you is, what I've learned is, everything. I'm actually a strong believer. I'm actually a strong Christian. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
My going to Pole for 1 year, there's so much that happened in that 1 year that was supposed to happen. I was supposed to be there. I am in the corridors, in the professional corridors with people who actually graduated.
Yeah.
But when I meet them, it always feels like I'm one of them. Like there's no, I don't feel out of place.
I was just there for a year.
I made such a big network just on that 1 year being at Poly with students. You know how it is, let's say in government, I'm my lawyer, Achango, my engineer, Apole, my accountant, Achanchan. Like, I feel like I'm part of that community just by that 1 year. The failures that happened in that 1 year still live with me till now. The fundamental lessons or classes that I had in the engineering courses, doing mechanical science, material science, electrical science, physics, drawing, whatever, these are things that I still use up to now.
Yeah.
Just first year. Me going to do Inzuni and to do 2 years.
What were you doing in Zone?
I was just studying a Bachelor of Science in Information and Technology.
ICT. Okay, cool.
The things I learned in 2 years, Bana, I was able to do my own websites. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to become a graphic designer. I was able to repair PCs. I was able to do a little bit of programming. I was able to do publishing. I learned a lot of just in those 2 years that I still apply up to now. Then I went to the Center for Open and Distance Learning. I still did ICT and finished. So what I'm trying to say is, in everything, I was creating a network. I was creating knowledge, experiences. I was getting stronger as a person in how I withstand pressures, how, because in Nanyo's right?
Yeah. Because I want to understand how you have been strong and being able to be where you are. Because I've seen that a lot. And I think that's one thing that I would want I think people to take away from this podcast.
Yeah.
Apart from the music and everything that people see, but that how you got yourself from that situation. I read an article last week, a news article. It was all over the place. There's a kid who was withdrawn from, is it Pole? And committed suicide.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, that's what I was actually thinking. There have been thousands, I think, of people that have gotten withdrawn from colleges that have just given up on life, and probably they stopped pushing anything. They
it's
think
actually a big issue.
Their certificate, the degree was the thing that they needed to have.
Yeah.
I want you to unpack the strength and the importance of looking back and saying, no, this is what I learned. This is how I use it. This is what I learned. This is how I connect with the past.
Yeah. That's such a powerful question. For me, I've got a couple of things that I've used as my tools. The very first one, guys, I may not look it, but I pray a lot. I may not look it, but I pray a lot. I've got so much belief in God and I have so much faith. Prayer is key. You can be a Christian, you can be a Muslim, you can be a Hindu, whatever you believe in. All we know is there's a higher power. Connect with your higher power and believe. For me, that's the first thing. The second thing is, there's this common saying, parents are our second gods or our gods on earth. Guys, that one is not just a saying. Magolo aja, they were put on this earth to be there for us. Make sure no matter how difficult your parent is, those ones, their blessings matter.
Mm.
Having a good relationship with your parents is one of the most important things. Your parents' prayer, whether it's your father, your mother, or your guardian, whether if you are born an orphan from a young age, your guardian, the one who has connected with you as your guardian, their prayer or their curse is actually dangerously important.
Mm.
If they're praying for you every day, dear God, mwana uyu ni mamudalia, jonde mdaliteni, protect him, guide him. That prayer is one of the most powerful prayers. And also saying, Ambuye, munandi pasalanje mwana ondizunza uyu. Why am I facing, so much heartache from this child? That's also a very powerful and dangerous prayer. So having a good relationship with your parents is one of the most important things. If you're an orphan, having a good relationship with the people who have taken care of you or are there as your guardian, it's also very important. The third thing is we need to, what I did. At a very young age, I was teased. Why was I teased? Ninkagemulwa nini mutu wa ukulu. Nimagemulwa nini panzi la likulu. Yeah? Nimagemulwa kuntemene I had what do you call them, pimples.
Yeah.
Was a poop. And when I was younger, Nasia like peeing on my bed at a later stage. I was also mocked because in Form 1, I used to still pee in bed at secondary school. So I was mocked throughout my life. That's where that Cholabita song came from. So because of all those experiences I had, what I told myself was, you know what? I need to learn to accept myself for who I am. Chomendili ndi chomendili. Not everyone will love me and not everyone will hate me. I knew that because regardless of everything, because I had a good relationship with my mother, I knew that, okay, I'm not romantic, but at least I've got my mom who still loves me. I got my sisters who still love me. I've got my brothers who still love me. And the few friends I had. So it's us against the world.
Yeah.
Not everyone will love me and not everyone will hate me. I made peace with that at a very young age. So after I made peace with that at a very young age, when I was growing up, I became exposed to books by Napoleon Hill, The Laws of Success, Think and Grow Rich, then eventually The Law of Attraction, the philosophies in those books and extended by other writers. Wallace D. Wattles, there's too many people who wrote around those philosophies.
Yeah.
I discovered the power of the mind. Whatever you tell yourself you are, you will become. Whoever you think you light yourself enough and it becomes reality.
Yeah.
So I told myself, I am the best at everything I do. And whatever anybody says is useless to me. Because I have made peace, this is who I am. So even when you see people mock me on social media, I actually join in because I know who I am. So my message to everyone is, accept yourself for who you are. The one fool, you are beautifully short. The one tall, okay, you are beautifully tall. The was a poop, yes, it's one a ball. The wabashi baby, yes, you're uniquely that way. So once I accepted myself in all those ways, my confidence and my self-esteem bloomed. So the tools I used.
I see.
The tools I used I remember one of my other mentors at a young age was Q Malewezi. One of the conversations we had at a very early age was he told me about the three things. You can be born with talent, you nurture your skills, but the third thing and the third most important thing is discipline. Kuti mafua moto ajakale, when you're cooking, you can't have two rocks. You need the third one.
Third one, yeah.
Without the third one, the pot will keep going down. So discipline is what will protect your talent, is what will protect your skills. And when I was going for my very first job, my mom told me two things: punctuality and integrity. Punctuality at everything, going to work, submitting a report, giving an update. Just be early at doing everything. And also when you're early, you think better. Integrity, you need to be somebody people can trust. People can gravitate towards, people who they can respect. So those lessons are some of the skill sets that I use to keep me going.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. this is way beyond, I think, what I was thinking we'll be discussing here. But this is very important.
Yeah.
One thing that I know about you,
Yeah.
it's something that you have mentioned, I think, several times in this conversation already.
Yeah.
You had a very, very interesting relationship with your mom.
Yes, my mom was my best friend.
I saw you on social media and whatnot, and I kept saying, like, no, you're not acting katika mwana. Are you the last born
Last born.
one? Yeah.
Mama's little
Yes,
boy.
Yeah. Because, like, there was so much posts about your mom. Every time when you went to Blantyre,
Yes.
there was always mom this, mom that, mom that.
Yes.
How special is that? Of course, you have already explained how you... Yeah.
It was very special because my father died in 1995 when I was 9 years old. Then my brother, who became like the father figure, died in 98. So basically, I was closer to my mom, who now became like the father figure and the mother figure. And what I loved about my mom was she was always supportive of me. And even like when I'm going through things, she'd always see the positive side of things to say, no, zadele komano mutakudele. Or this has happened, you can do this. So she had a very positive aspect on life, whereby, you know, how, let's say, olagwa maeso, okay, no, kwa mtu olembaso. You know, of course, it's nango maeso. Nango idi do go fasi mavida in class. But she had that positive outlook on life. So because of that, sindi maopa kukawazota ama ndalakwa ichi kapena ma ndalakwitsa ichi kapena ndapalamula uko, you know, because I knew kuti should not cast me out or say kuti bas you are a failure. No, should say no, mwalakwitsa, next time do better, komano now go and apologize, or now go and make it right. So because of that, I was trusting any bad news, even like I'm having trouble with my girlfriend, I would go with it to my mom because I knew she would receive it, then give me a positive perspective. So that made me have a good relationship with her, you know. So God rest her soul. You know, she was such an amazing woman, loving, you know, supportive and always caring and always giving. But I really had a special relationship with her. And I don't mourn her, I celebrate her. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we need to make peace. We are all going to go.
Exactly.
You know, but before we go, what impact have we made on the world? What relationships did we have with people? You know, as we go, will people miss us? Or they say, oh, good riddance. You know, so for me, my mother, I feel she made an impact, not only on me, not only on my siblings, but in the community. So all I can do is celebrate her life, because eventually we are all supposed to go. We just need to live a life worth living.
Cool, perfect. Talking about your family, you usually go to the UK. You were there last year, and you have been there several times. And what I discovered is you have your family in the UK. Tell us about that, the relocation. Are they there like permanently? What happened for them to be there?
Actually, the majority of my family are UK citizens. My sisters, my brothers, my cousins, my aunties, my uncles. You know, the majority of my nephews, my nieces are there. At this point, it's just me, my brother, it was my mom as well, and maybe just a few nieces and nephews. They've been there for over 20 years, and they're there. So for me, I chose to just visit them because I feel like I've created a brand in Malawi, or a brand that's, you know, relevant with Malawi going out. And I feel like even I've got more room for growth, you know, in terms of like leadership, in terms of like business. So for me, I'm grounded in Malawi. I prefer just to visit. Yeah, but I've got family. You're very right. I've got family that side.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. It's not even a question that would be asking. Do you know any musician in Malawi who works harder than you? Do you know anyone when you're like, hey, I'm a tibula. Like you, when you see it, you're like, hey, that guy works hard.
Boss, I don't, because for me, I've sacrificed a lot. I've sacrificed education. I've sacrificed relationships. I've sacrificed family. I've sacrificed friendships. I've sacrificed my finances. You know, I think if I was just focused on my professional career and just focused on maybe business, I would have been super rich and maybe a CEO or an MD. You know, I would have been somewhere, you know, but I sacrificed all that because of music. And I don't see anyone making that level of sacrifice. But you know, there are people who inspire me. You know, there's a particular musician. His name is JJC.
Okay.
JJC
Yeah.
also pushes.
Okay.
I like that kid. I like his focus. I like his discipline. You know, he's somebody I don't talk to every day, but I'm always watching and I know he's always working. So that's somebody else who inspires me. I think, you know, we can't blame people. You know, the reality on the ground is different.
Yeah.
You know, music, at least now, there's a little bit of money coming out with all these royalties, blank media levy. Now there are endorsements. A little bit of money is coming out, but music, there wasn't money.
Yeah.
So, you know, now you're having kids, you're having wives, you're having responsibilities, and you keep making music that's not paying. You know, it's some of those things that push people to maybe lift their foot off the paddle
And
because of
focus
and
maybe
focus on other things because of the reality on the ground. You know, but in spite of that, some of us have chosen to still push our careers and still push the music. Yeah.
And where does that drive come from? Because you work full time.
Yes, full
You're
time.
now with NBS as
I'm in private banking.
private banking.
Yeah.
And you're always at work. Actually, we had to wait for you to knock off so
Exactly.
you can, for this interview. For those that are watching, we are recording. This is recorded at night.
Yeah.
Like around 8 at
Now,
night.
I just took off my tie.
And that's the sacrifice that you're making for your brand as Phyzix.
Yeah.
And you've got work there.
Yeah.
You have released new songs in the past few weeks. I don't know how many already. This year, we were on the 13th.
I have a song
But
out
there's
already.
a song already out.
Yeah.
You don't sleep. You're
Yeah.
always making music. You're always here. You're working.
Yeah.
What's that? What's that?
To be honest, for me, even I don't understand it. But every day, because like today, we're doing this after work, right? Let me tell you, I didn't have lunch. Because lunch, I was at MBC Studios doing an interview. I did 2 interviews at lunch. That was my lunch. That's what I ate. The 2 interviews. Then I went back to work. After work, now I haven't had supper. You know,
And
so
you're here.
immediately after work, I went to pick up my wife and my daughter. We moved around town. I haven't even eaten. We're getting what my daughter wanted. And now we're here doing this interview. To be honest, for me, there's just something in me that keeps telling me, just keep going. Just keep going, you know. And I'm sure one day I'll find out what that's all about. I'll find out one day what that's all about. Why? What? I'll find out. I'm very sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we just pray for life and good health.
No, but I think the good thing is
Yeah.
your output. There's output to whatever you are putting into those things. When it comes to music, when it comes to your work, you've been like getting up the corporate radar.
Definitely.
And your music also shows.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I think we're looking at something that just came out. The top 100
Best of 2020.
best of 2022.
Yeah.
And your song Legends is on number
2.
And out of those 100, you have how many entries?
7.
7 entries into the top 100.
The most downloaded
songs.
songs of 2022.
I checked
it's been a trend for the past years as well.
I think sometimes when you like put in something, you also check what's coming out of there. And I think it's working out for you. So yeah, I think kudos to you for that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a mean achievement to have
No, it's not.
7 entries out of 100. How many music artists do we have? How many songs came out for you?
We have more than 1,000 registered musicians with Musicians Union of Malawi, with Kosoma, and it means there are some who are not even registered. So in that pool, to have 7, I think we thank God for that. Yeah.
What are those songs?
So Legends is
there's Streets, there is Chanyo, there's Stable, there is Maboza, there is Murder. I know I'm forgetting one. There's a 7th one, but they're on my page right now. They're on my Facebook page. Yeah.
Wow. I say big up. I'm impressed. I've met you. We talk.
Yeah.
But this side of you, I think that I'm getting out of you today is like a different one.
Yeah.
Your faith and your belief in the things that you do.
Yeah.
The hard work that you put in there. In a day, we're talking about all the things that you've done,
Yeah.
interviews and all that, I don't think we put in a lot of work sometimes as young people.
Yeah.
And it's inspiring to see someone who, a lot of people look at you like, adaja na blow akali, and finally, but you still put in more effort into your work.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to something else.
We forgot one thing.
Yeah.
If you remember, there was an article that came out last year about the top 100 African rappers.
Yes.
I was the only
And
Malawian
who
rapper
actually
ranked
made
at
it.
number 41.
Yeah.
The only Malawian rapper. And in terms of, like, let's say the nominations in 2020, I've had a record nominations. I had 12 for Malawi Hip Hop Awards and 7 for the UMP. No musician in Malawi, when I say no musician, I mean no musician in Malawi has ever had those amount of nominations in a year. So, I would say it's really good output, because when you're working hard, you want results. It's frustrating if you're putting in the hours, putting in the work, and not getting an output. So I'm really grateful for the response.
Cool.
Yeah.
And we're talking about all that, and then there's family involved as well.
Yes, I'm married and I've got a daughter.
Okay, Alisa.
Alisa Grace Chikole, that's my
If
daughter.
it's written somehow, it would have been easier. The spelling doesn't look like Alisa. Because Alisa would be like Alisa.
Yes, no, I made sure it had, because I gave her the name Alisa. Her mom gave her Grace, so she's Alisa Grace.
Alisa Grace Chikole.
Yeah, we made sure Maina Jogele Waifeo. We didn't want we wanted her to create her own legacy, a name that's not there in the family. Okay,
so when you look at your schedules, things like this, you are now based in Blantyre. I know you're married to one of the most influential, beautiful,
yes, she is,
woman in this country. She has a command because of the things that she does. She's talented. She's a singer. I've watched her perform. She won the Airtel Trace music competition. And I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
What are the pressures now that come with all the things that you do, music, your work, and your family? And I'm trying to bring in the family in this because you stay in Blantyre.
Yes.
Your wife works in Lilongwe. She stays here.
Yeah.
How are things like, how do you bring all those things together and to be able to juggle?
Yeah. To be honest, it's not easy. To have your family in a different city and you're in a different city. At least in the year 2017, 2018, we were living together.
Yeah, because I think she was in Blantyre at some point.
Yeah, she joined me and at the Zodiac office in Blantyre. But I think where they needed her in the Lilongwe office. I think that's where their main TV team is. And she's one of the leading, team members of Zodiac. And so she had to be here. So, it made sense because we're both progressive with our careers. She has dreams that she wants to fulfill, and I've got dreams I want to fulfill and achieve as well. So, but the biggest thing has been on time for our daughter. We try to make sure we visit each other as often as possible. In the days where we're in the different cities, things like video calls, phone calls, just to make sure even on the key days like birthdays, graduations, we're available. It's not easy, if I must say. It's not an easy arrangement, but we try our best to make it work. Because at the end of the day, also what we're doing is for her, for us to be able to pay for her school fees, provide for her needs. Yeah, it's not easy, but at least we try to make it work.
And how do you cope or deal with your statuses now? You are a very popular, big brand, big name celebrity. And I look at your wife as someone who is always in the limelight because of the nature of her work, because she's talented. But she looks like somebody who's always like trying to shy away from. I don't know. Maybe you'd be the one to better explain her. It's like she's like hides from the limelight out of her workspaces and whatnot. And you married to her. How do you cope with the pressure of people always like trying to look at you guys as celebrities now? They're Malawians, they create like stories and whatnot, all those things. How do you deal with those things?
I think it helps because she's also in that world, so she understands it better. And also, she's somebody who's well grounded, very principled. She's a very, very strong Christian. She's a worship leader, and she's a pastor's daughter. And she comes from a very good family, family that has entrenched good principles in her life, very disciplined. So, in as much as she's also a public figure, she's well grounded because of her background, and also she's well traveled. She's been exposed to the extremities of, being a celebrity, and also what it means in other countries. So it makes her to understand, what I'm going through, and how it would affect the marriage, and also how it would make it work. So I feel because of her family background and also her own personal principles and discipline, it makes it easier to better understand. I know I'm in Blantyre. She receives, photos. Your husband there.
Your husband at blues.
There he is. There he is. Yeah. She receives messages. Zinataka bwanji. So, but because, people don't understand the relationship we have, zimatega kuti ndatsanzika. She knows I'm there. Maybe we just video called. She knows where I am. She knows who I'm with, So by the time people are going with such messages, for her, it's a bit of, okay, cool. Oh, alumene. But she knows already.
Yeah, he said,
and also, I'm in a space whereby, things are amplified. I can be driving around with a workmate, a relative, or a friend who's of the opposite sex. Obviously, so she understands that things can be amplified, whether it's true or not. But because of the space that I'm in, it's easy for her to get a lot of stories. But it was going to be difficult, maybe, if she was just an accountant or an engineer or a lawyer who's just focused on her career. I make music that's for both females and men, and people want to show that appreciation. People can come to want to pose on a picture with me. People can want to come and give me a hug, give me a greeting, just to talk to me. Doesn't mean if somebody takes a picture while that's happening, it means something is going on. So at the end of the day, it helps to be with somebody who understands your persona, who understands, the space you are in and what comes with that space. It helps, so I'd encourage people to fall in love or to formalize relationships with people who understand them in that way. Yeah.
Okay. Talking about that, as a celebrity, you have said you drive around with people see you with girls, you'd meet fans and all that.
Yeah.
In the song Bum Tea, you
Yeah.
coined a line. There's a line that you coined.
I see it coming.
And a lot of people, when I said, we're going to talk to Phyzix, people are like, can you ask him about this? Tima Bebe Chicken.
Yeah.
I never knew Bebe Chicken would be. Bebe Chicken used to be those things that we would buy in the shops, but it actually came out now as Bebe Chicken in the Agazi. And you say Tima Bebe Chicken in TJ Red, and people now think Phyzix. I mean, the Phyzix. What is my Bebe Chicken?
Oh wow.
What do you tell people about that?
Okay, you okay. Let me tell you. In society, we call girls chicks.
Yeah.
A chick is a baby chicken.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, like a small chicken is called a chick.
Yeah, we call girls chicks.
Chicks.
Let's go talk some chicks. We call them chicks. So for me, I'm a hip hop artist. I'm about double entendres. I'm about bars, metaphors, and what have you. So for me, it was just another way of saying chicks. Yeah. So it was also at a time whereby kanayamba kuchuka ka phrase kwanina kuti mujera. So like kuti, like you're doing something so well, that you're gonna get attention.
Yeah.
Which others would literally translate to actually, sleeping with a girl or something, you know what I mean? But it actually means getting attention or jan. So for me, around that time, that was around 2014, was when I was making the transition of making more lady-friendly music.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, cool. I'm getting in a zone whereby the girls are gonna like me.
Yeah.
They do. But I was like, at that time, I was getting into that zone. Good, okay, I'm gonna make more lady-friendly music because at the time when I was Gamba Chola Pizza, it was more of hardcore hip hop, which was mainly for the guys. It was full of energy and whatnot. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm growing as a musician. I need to make more mainstream music and more lady-friendly music, which is like mass appeal. So it was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna get in that space now. So it was like a declaration. Good, okay, I'm going into the space whereby girls like my music. It had nothing to do with sex.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
That's out of the way, right?
Yeah.
That's clear.
No?
The BBC can call phrase.
Yeah.
He's big on the name.
Yeah, the
Oh,
chicken is
wow.
like he abuses that.
Shout out to Tana. That's
Yeah,
my
abuses that
brother. That's
phrase,
my little
exactly.
brother right there.
Yeah,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
a question for me.
Yeah.
About your family.
Yeah.
There have been stuff I've seen it on Twitter.
Yeah.
That you guys are divorced. You guys have separated.
Yeah.
And all those things. I think this is a good platform for you to address that.
Yeah.
Because people look at you guys, one of the beautiful couples.
Yeah.
But that has been coming. What's your reaction to that?
I think like any couple, we've had our own fair share of challenges. And being a couple in the limelight, a famous husband, a famous wife, there's always room for whereby things will get out and they get blown out of proportion for the sake of traction. So like any couple, we've had our challenges. We are not divorced. We live in separate cities. And I think one of the things that are, more of like accelerated those rumors is because my wife uses her maiden name, but that's her brand name. That's her brand name. Angelina Jolie never changed her name when he married Brad Pitt or any other guy. That's her brand name. So that's the name she uses for her career. Yeah, she doesn't use my name as Chukwuleka. But if you go to her passport, you see her name, the name that's there. You go to her driver's license, you see the name that's there. The school that she's doing, you see the name that she registered. So in the important documents, that's the name she uses. But as a brand, it's difficult, to change a name as a brand. So that's what it is. Yeah.
And I think the other thing that also accelerates that, which was something that I was going to come through, but I'm going to connect these two, is because when you're in the city, you post that at Marvel Boutique. So people are like, why is he sleeping at the hotel when he has a house?
I'm a brand ambassador. I'm working. For example, my brother KOK stays in 49.
Yeah.
He's a brand ambassador for Pebbles Boutique
And
in 49.
Like, how?
Okay, sorry, bro, to put your business out there. But that's just an example, right? He stays in 49.
Yeah.
Brand ambassador for a hotel that's
is
in 49.
Like, when are you going to use this?
At least I'm in Blantyre and I'm a brand ambassador for a hotel that's in Lilongwe.
Yeah.
So I'm working, guys.
Cool. So yeah, my next point was going to go to the ambassadorship deals and whatnot.
Yeah.
You are an ambassador for Marvel Boutique. You are, I don't know if it's still there for
Yes, still
Donna's
there.
Eggs. And there's another one. I think it's a shop.
Yeah.
For suits.
Yeah.
Those of Gambawa suits. I think you're ambassador. How do these brand ambassadorships go for you?
Yeah.
How do you see them? What are the benefits? And do you think they're actually like supporting your brand and also your bank account?
Yeah. I've actually been blessed in terms of like brand ambassadorship deals. I've actually had to turn down some because I knew I would not be able to deliver. They've been a blessing, for me, aside from the financial aspect, aside from the, trade exchanges that are done, the biggest thing for me is for somebody, a whole business, to want to associate with you. It's a public endorsement to say, this is the right person, to be associated with. For me, that's the biggest thing, because it's a reputational risk to associate yourself with another brand, a human brand at that, because if I am if I'm doing crazy things, it means I'm taking the brand with me. So for me, that's the biggest thing. I'm a brand ambassador. I've been a brand ambassador for a shop called PC Merchants. They do suits, like you said, for M&R panel beaters. I've done works with CSL panel beaters who have eventually become K Motors. I've done things with Donna's Eggs, with Proto Feeds, Proto Vet, Proto Chicks, Kale Foods. I've done with WWE Snacks. I've done with Movie Boutique Hotel. I'm actually in the final stages of securing 2 more brand ambassadorship deals. I've endorsed NBS, my employer, and other short-term contracts I've had. I think for me, the biggest thing, it's good for the financial gains because I do get paid. It's good because I also get to access to services provided by these businesses. And also, it's been easy or possible to get these deals because of how I carry myself. I believe I carry myself as not just as a musician, but I carry myself as a professional. And also, to stay away from scandals. Rumors will always be there. I mean, if you're famous, you're famous. Rumors will always be there. But there should not be, scandals that can be proven. Or problems that can be proven to say, hey, awawadi analezera amapanga ndeu amatere ndipo ndi zithunzi ndi mavideo ndi awa. Some of us, we don't do such. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but you need to understand in the space you are in and how you need to carry yourself. And also, secondly, brands look for people who can articulate issues. People who can have a conversation, people who can endorse your brand on media, on social media, in a newspaper article, in an interview, people who can sell for you. People who also buy into your brand to say, okay, we're a hotel. He believes in our hotel. He understands our hotel. If Zodiac came to him and say, tell us about Movie Boutique Hotel, he'll be able to articulate and explain. So brands are also looking for people who are able to say something. So me, I'm a marketer by professional, a trained public speaker. It also makes it easier for me. So, and also, at the end of the day, being a brand ambassador, you have deliverables. You need to make sure you deliver on your deliverables. You're supposed to help us mobilize business, mobilize that business. You're supposed to help us reposition our brand, help them reposition. You're supposed to help us, put our new brand out there. Make sure it's out there. Help us grow our social media pages. Do grow those social media pages. So if you've got those reports, those proven success stories, when you're going to brand B now, you're done with brand A, it will be easier for you to get the brand B deal because you explain your success stories with brand A. Yeah? So it's always good to take account. Good, okay. Ndugu yamba obale lero. Let's say, for example, I become a brand ambassador for Airtel, for argument's sake. One, I should know, okay, what was the position of Airtel's social media before I joined? I need to record that. Okay? The deliverables they've given me, what was the reality before I joined? Now, 6 months later, 1 year later, how have the pages grown? The deliverables you're given, what have we achieved? You need to be able to record that and have it as part of your, your electronic press kit. So that when people approach you, you should be able to showcase. When I was with Kale Foods, we managed to do this. When I was with WWE Snacks, we managed to do this. When I was with X company, we managed to do this. So it keeps the journey easier and easier, whereby now it's people coming to you and you saying, I think I'm not available. Or maybe this is interesting enough. Like Ronaldo. Ronaldo doesn't have to knock to any door anymore. People come to knock at his door.
Say, hey.
Yeah. So as an influencer or an aspiring influencer, you need to move on that path. Yeah, I think that's what I can say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shoot, I think there's so much to talk about, and I'm looking at that time there. We just hit 1 hour right now, and it looks like we just started like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, wow. We've done an hour. Oh, awesome.
Okay, cool. I think let's try.
Let me just say one thing. Make sure all the controversial issues people talk about me are addressed make sure.
So
that's
why
we're gonna address once and for.
That's why I want to go now.
Now you're scaring me.
Those are the areas.
He's saying they are coming.
That I need
boss,
clear.
calm down. I was just joking.
Okay, I was actually coming to that because I've met you. I look at you. There's a character that I see of Phyzix.
Yeah,
and I think because of your music, which was aggravated kind of by the song, let's say Makofi.
Yeah.
When it did Makofi, people believed Guti Phyzix idi munhu ovuta.
Yeah.
And there have been stories.
Yeah.
I know you love playing FIFA with your peers.
Yeah.
I know Phyzix ukangomuchinya FIFA. Amakwiya. Phyzix amakwiya amalusa amatakunyamula PS yake kumapita kwamenya FIFA. Okay, is that you or is the character? What's that? Can you explain that? Do you have tempers? Let's say when you're playing and you're being defeated with your mates and whatnot.
Yeah. I'm a strong competitor. I hate losing, and that's why, I'm a big Ronaldo fan than Manchester. That's why even now I'm not watching Manchester games because of what they did to Ronaldo. Ronaldo inspires me in that way. Ronaldo hates.
We had an argument yesterday about that.
I'm not watching Man U games. Because of what they did to Ronaldo. Ronaldo inspires me. Ronaldo hates to lose. I hate to lose as well. I'm a strong competitor. So, I know friends like Blackjack, the KOKs, they'll talk because they know how passionate I am and how much I hate losing. For example, I would be losing, let's say Blackjack is leading by 5 games. It means we will not stop playing until I win. When I had just moved to Sochi East, I was staying close to the Blackjack's house. So let's say we'll start playing Friday. I was like, cool, we're not going out. We're playing FIFA. I'm only leaving this house until I win. That's how passionate I am. So, friends who exaggerate a little bit, but the gist of it all is I'm very passionate and I hate losing, So songs like Makofi, the person I am, okay, I'm a marketer. I like to understand the market. I like to give what the market wants, how they want it packaged and whatnot. But also I believe in the inner child. I like to say what I want to say. I'll say the silliest things in a song because I have an inner child that I listen to. I believe that's true art. You need to express yourself how you want to express yourself in the best way you're comfortable. So if I'm doing a Makofi, that was me being honest because at the time, social media was attacking me. Makozi, Umata Daily, Malawi Rap Battle. Yeah, samata kuflow amene go work bars. Akuti banje ninekondwa ninemakondwa. Banje akuti ninavaga I went. I was like, bruh, there's no way you can be dissing the best rapper in Malawi. No, let me show you. So Makofi was a manifestation of the anger I had because I know I can't go out and physically assault excess or physically. No, I can't do that. But I'm responding in the craft that's being attacked. My craft was being attacked, so I had to respond in the craft that's being attacked. And that's why I told you I studied the laws of success and about creating a mastermind. I believe I created a mastermind with the Daredevils. That's why it was my pain, but they were able to join that pain and make it their pain and to be able to do a masterpiece. If you remember when Makofi came out, bro, it trended everywhere.
Yeah.
It won the award for best song because our energies, we created what we call the chi. The chi was right because of the relationship I have with the Daredevils. We created a mastermind and they also assimilated my pain and they were able to express it in the music, So, yeah.
And I think one thing, okay, apart from all that, one thing that I've noted about you is your ability to keep people. I don't know if it's hip hop or if it's the industry.
Yeah.
People talk a lot of things about you in line with something that has trended or maybe how people have been bullying you for something and whatnot.
Yeah.
But we will see you with probably the people that people thought you have an issue with, and it looks like you're cool, whatever it is that is going on there, whether it's in pictures and whatnot.
Yeah.
And recently, over the festive season, you were at Temwani Temani Center, the lady who works with orphans and whatnot in Area 25 for Christmas.
Temani
Chilenga, yes.
Yeah.
And there's a picture that came out of you and your fellow friends, your relatives, and people in the industry, your fellow rappers. There was Third Eye and there was Gwamba.
Yeah.
And that attracted a lot of attention. And people have been asking, because people believe there's bad blood between Third Eye and Gwamba based on maybe what trends on social media, how they speak about each other. Third Eye came here and talked strongly about his relationship with Gwamba, but they were there with you.
Yeah.
How did that happen and what was the idea? What happened?
Bruh, people who know me, they know I'm a real G, bruh. I keep it real. If I'm your friend, I'm your friend. And you will know I'm your friend and you will feel that I'm your friend. To an extent whereby, even if you've got an issue with a different person, you set that aside to make sure you come through for me. Because whatever issues Third Eye and Gwamba have, they don't concern me. Mm-hmm. Third Eye and I grew up together in Area 12. We're actually family friends. Our mothers were friends. Our fathers were friends. Our brothers and sisters were friends. We went to the same Catholic church, St. Patrick's in Area 18. We both served Mass. Like, he's my childhood friend. I've known him for years. Gwamba is like my little brother. Till now, he's like my little brother. Even when I'm in Longwe, if I'm going to sleep at an artist's house, I sleep at Gwamba's house. So the love and respect that's there between Third Eye and I, the love and respect that's between Gwamba and I supersedes whatever they have against each other. That's why they were both able to put that aside and come and support their brother. Even when I was inviting Gwamba, when I was inviting Third Eye, trust me, I never thought or remembered, that was never in my mind. What I did was I only invited my close friends in Lilongwe to say, join me. I was not looking at who's cool with who, who's not cool with who. For me, that doesn't involve me. Yeah? So at the end of the day, I do not do inherited beef. I never inherit beef. I never. And even both of them, they know. They don't even, like what I say, is that what? Nah. They know I do not inherit beef. If I've got a problem with a person, that's my problem. I should not influence you, Dennis, to say, can you have a problem with Magnyand and I'll see you? No, but it has nothing to do with you. Because at the end of the day, relationships are different. That's why it's advised, Milando ya babanjo salawelera. Because antwajagagwiriza no mabusa ndiwe.
Exactly.
So imagine
that's a big one.
Yeah. Umabusa ndiwe. So whatever issues those two have, bruh, I have nothing to do with them. I love them, I respect them, and they're my brothers. So them coming there, even for me, I realized, after I started seeing comments on social media. I say, Phyzix, the whole time we were there, I did not even sense there's animosity or there's like people being uncomfortable. Everyone was comfortable. Okay. You know what I mean? So I feel it's the love and respect they also have for me. That made the room or the environment comfortable. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Because I saw social media and it was like everywhere. And oh wow. And I think that's one thing that I've learned about you from interacting with people and also just
before you come in,
you.
Before you come in, suffice to say, bruh, I'm grown. I'm at an age whereby, for me the most important thing is building relationships, creating relationships. At the end of the day, there's a reason why the golden rule is love. There's a big reason why the golden rule is love. You gain more, by spreading love. If you can help. If you can't, you can't. The heart will understand what he can't. But if you can, help. If you can make peace, make peace. If you can avoid. There's no reason for you to be having bruh, trust me, I don't believe that. Let me tell you, the spirits are real. There are certain people your spirits will align. There are certain people your spirits won't align.
Never, yeah.
If you sense it, every time, there's certain people, and you believe me, you're in a room, like trust me, just avoid that person. Your spirits don't align. Other than for me, I do not subscribe to that. Sorry, Nagoso Wonenzo, you're about to say something.
No, I think I was just trying to add on the same thing of how you are like in the circles where you bring people together,
Yeah.
and there's always like all the bullying and all the things that come out on social media,
Yeah.
and you just join with the fun in them. There's a whole thing how people you because you already mentioned that people used to mock you when you were young.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's always that keeps coming on. But when I see your comments when people like say that, they're always like,
Yeah.
it looks like he doesn't even care. It's actually just like adding to the
Bruh, my confidence and self-esteem is super high. I'm not cocky. I'm not overbearing. I don't step on people. But in my space, you can't tell me anything. I believe in myself and I love myself. I think that's why I don't let people's negative energy affect me. I just bounce it back and capitalize on the mileage it's making for business and for my own engagements and coverage. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I think we have a community of podcast people that just follow the podcast.
Yeah.
So these are the people that follow and they're on a group. They usually just like throw when a guest is coming.
Yeah.
Like, can you ask him about this? And so these are disclaimer.
The strays.
Not our questions.
The stray bullets.
So I'll just go through some of these because I think they've always been like, and all that.
Now let them get their moment. Yeah.
Sometime back, you wanted to switch to gospel. What happened?
It wasn't for me. That's why I don't want to force it. Like I told you, I'm a very, very strong Christian. I pray every day. I pray before going on stage, before eating, before doing anything. I prayed before this interview. But I am not a gospel rapper or gospel musician. You can never force it. You can never force it. That's my faith. That's my belief. We can't all be pastors. We can't all be gospel musicians. But my faith is there and I believe in God. So I don't believe in forcing it. I tried. I failed. I stopped. I carried on with what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Agudi 60 ananyamuka from Kasungu to Blantyre to shoot a video with him.
Yeah.
It was Phyzix song, but he requested the boy to pay, of which the boy failed to do so and didn't honor the promise to host him at his house as he promised the dude, citing that Ruth is home and so couldn't host him. Izitu anagamba the 60th by interview yake ina yake.
Yeah.
What happened?
Let me tell you, man, I'm always welcoming, to everyone. Fellow musicians, I'm always open to work with even upcoming artists. In here, I'm not even proud. I reach out to an artist that I'm miles ahead of them, but I reach out. Let's do a song. So I have a clean heart in that way. But when I sense, Kuti, this person, his intentions are not pure or her intentions are not pure, or is somebody I can't work with, I cut off immediately. I cut off. And that sixth is one of them. I don't like that kid. He doesn't have a good spirit. And I removed myself from everything to do with him. I don't hate him. I don't have a problem with him. But I sensed Kuti, him and I couldn't do anything productive. So I just cut myself off. But that's the truth. I sensed Kuti, I couldn't do anything productive with him. Trust me, I study people a lot. I studied psychology. And every time I'm interacting with somebody, I'm studying them. I'm studying their intentions. And also, one thing people don't know, there's a reason why I always have information. I'm always on social media studying. So people think, Madis tagola gulu samona maposta atu, chitakukamba ngini nage opoila hapa, takutega muna kastera skena opoila, otokamba ngini nage. I'm always studying that. So ngini jagandipeza, I understand who people are, So him is one of the kids I wanted to work with. I was excited, super talented. I can't say anything bad. Super talented. But I didn't like where his heart was. So instead of dissing, hating each other, arguing, all I did was remove myself from the picture. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
True. Some people say he releases substandard music and should retire. How does he feel about such sentiments? Komaso, when does he plan to retire, if ever?
Such people with such statements don't exist in my world and don't have any influence or any substance. I am one of the biggest rappers in Malawi. I make hits. I'm proven. I have things to show for it. So that is just useless information for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did okay? We've talked about Gwamba and Mandela in 25 for his thing.
Yeah.
How did the stage name Phyzix came about? How did it come about?
I grew up a very athletic person. I used to play basketball. I actually played for the national team for Malawi. I used to play football. I was a sprinter. I was a high jumper, and I did some martial arts. So when I was younger, people used to say, Wama Fizo Uja, Wama Fizo Uja. So the first name was actually Fizo. So when I started to rap, I turned the name to Phyzix. So if you know what physics is, it's the study of the relationship between energy and matter. So energy, I'm an energetic rapper. The matter is the lyrical substance. So combining the energetic rapper and with the lyrical substance makes an artist called Phyzix. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the definition of the name.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, the last one. Who inspired him to start music?
I would say my environment. Growing up, because I was born and raised in Area 12, my parents used to love music a lot. We had vinyls, Michael Jackson, James Brown, Jim Reeves, Cliff Richards, all these big guys, Agalikala, Jama Bluesy and whatnot. So I grew up around a family that loved music. All my family loved music, would celebrate with music, in the morning listening to music. So I enjoyed music until a time when my brothers introduced me to hip hop. I started listening to the Wu-Tang, DMX, Jay-Z, all these guys, the early guys. So it was a time when I went to school, primary school, standard 6 and 7, standard 8. We started now reciting the hip hop songs, and playing on the desks with my friends, in class. So when that started, I was like, I'm actually enjoying this. So the very first verse I wrote was for a variety show in Form 1 at Marist in 2001. But it came from being exposed to music, wanting to be a part of it by reciting and performing it until a time when I felt like, you know what, let me write my own. So from the feedback I got, people saying, hey, what had I say? It made me want to sharpen more and learn more. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So I think
I don't know. A while ago, remember, when I was about to have him, there's a question around him and Priscilla. You guys had some beef?
Which Priscilla?
Kaida?
She's always been a little sister to me and a colleague of my wife and somebody who has always supported me at Zodiac. I rarely have beef with females. I rarely have beef with females. I don't think I have beef with females. Maybe my exes, but I'm good with my exes too. Yeah. I think I'm good with my exes too. They keep saying hi.
I love that. People say a lot of things and whatnot, and you're always on social media.
Yeah.
What is that thing that you have always wanted to say? I'm gonna get a chance where I can go and hear this.
I don't know if I'm at a point in my life where I'm not holding grudges or just holding unresolved issues, but I think just maybe on the music. I've always been making music and I'm a writer. I love to write. I'm actually a prolific writer. That's why in Malawi, I have the most albums in hip hop. I've got 14 albums, and the second one is Third Eye, who has 12 albums.
Yeah.
I have actually the most albums in my hip hop, and I've got thousands of singles. So my point is, kunamba kumankwida ngilinage, when I started out, nimaimba hip hop yokwambiri papanga appeal to anthu amuna. It was high energy music, right? So when I decided to become a mainstream artist, right, I was experimenting a lot. Kumaisa kuimbako trap, kuyesako kusinga mu nyimbo, kuyesako kuimba zachikondi. I was trying a lot of things. But the unfortunate part was instead of futi ningoyeselela ndikuzisunga nyimbo zija ine ndinkatulutsa. Nyimbo zija zikatuluka, people would criticize them. For me, it's fair enough because I was trying new things, right? I was trying to find my footing in mainstream. And eventually, when I did, I transitioned from just being a hip hop artist to being a musician. When I did that transition, right? People said the same, wamba kupanga yonchi banje, munena kama mlembela nyimbo. Some would suggest the Daredevils, some would suggest other people. For me, I never liked that because I am a proud writer. I always tell my friends in the room when we're in the studio to say, the day somebody touches my pen to say, I'll write something for you, is the day I'll retire. I will never let anyone, if somebody will write something on my song, will be his part, never my part. And here's the funny part. I've actually written verses for rappers. I've actually written choruses for singers to songs that have eventually become big.
Example?
I will not mention. I will not mention. I've actually written verses before for other praised rappers.
Okay.
I'm actually a serious writer. For me, like I told you, if you connect the stories, I told you I say what I want to say in a song. I also listen to the inner child in me. So I'll say whatever I want to say. And I remember, Lady Pace, if you know Lady Pace, she once said, "Good Phyzix, I don't know what it is about your verses. Come you always say something in a song. So this you come that thing will always stand out and people will be talking about it. As they're talking about it, they want to listen to the song. As they're listening to the song, they're downloading the song. As they're mocking you, as they're making fun of you, you are actually progressing. I don't know what that is." When she said that, it was in the back of my mind. I brought it to the fore. Now I actually do it deliberately. So there'll be people who want to be, when they're making music, right? They want to be technical, like technically sound dope. They want to sound, I say the flow is flawless, I say. The bars in there are dope, I say. But when you really sit down and assess some of these best rappers, they'll do it so well, it will actually fly over the listener's head. They will be respected by fellow rappers, by hip hop heads, people who actually analyze songs, but they'll lose out on the masses. That's why the people who are praised as Maurice Zopia, I'm way, way bigger than them by tons. I'm a bigger rapper than them. Why? Because I make music that fans understand, fans connect with. And I make hits. I make things that will stick in your head. People still say, Dinavaga kale bra, I went in a song that had 7 musicians. Yamayo and Dimaras. But what stood out is Dinavaga kale bra, I went. Something as stupid as that. So what somebody told me when I was starting out in music, I don't know if it was Lucius Banda, it was somebody who said, you know what, music is simple lines for simple minds. Connect and speak from the heart. Because there's something about what you believe in, what you think is true, what you think is funny, what you think is dope. Whether it's the serious thing, it's how you say it that connects with the next spirit. Remember, music is spiritual. But nyimbo zinataka zopusa, like some of these songs made zimachuka. But kwa nyimbo ye kuchuka bwanji, no, but because mfana meno jama kamba muzoni yake, chulungamo chake, and our spirits are connecting to his spirit. That's music. So there are rappers that say, Zimega my bars, my flow, but bruh, they ain't got nothing on me, bruh. I got views, I got downloads, I got streams, I got awards. They ain't got that, any of that.
Yeah.
They ain't got it.
They only have Twitter.
They only have Twitter. They only got, you know what I mean? Because Nyimbo ZJ, we don't make it for fellow rappers who understand the technical, skills being used in the songs. We make it for that little kid, bruh. Ineo nimenda muhudu. Tanati ngono. Nima kuma nima kolo. Kamwana kanga, kama konda nyimbo yako ija. Kamwana kanga, kaza kaziwili. Tati jambule kakonitse kamwana. I've had families invite me to their homes to speak to their kids. Why? I'm making relatable music. It may sound funny, but if it's funny, why do I have a bigger following? Why do I have more downloads? Why do I have more streams? Did you know I've been in the top 3 of the most streamed people on Spotify? When I say people, I mean every musician you know in Malawi. And I'm the only hip-hop artist on that list. Do you know why? It's because of the same thing. You need to connect with people. So even if now, if we are to include this segment in the podcast, let's pull out our phones. Let's go to Spotify. Mention Chiriri Sister Rapper Shijawani. How many monthly listeners do they have? Now, let's go to this whack rapper.
Yeah.
How many monthly listeners do they have?
Yeah.
What that will tell you is people love me more because I make music for them. I don't make my music for fellow rappers. If I want to, I'm educated. I know English. I know all the devices used in music, the metaphors, the similes, the personification. I studied English. Every device you can mention to me about language and expression. I also studied Chichewa. I also studied French. Basically, I studied linguistics. I can use those bars if I want to. If I want to. But I do simple lines for simple minds, and I resonate, and I make progress, and I get invited to the State House.
Wow.
Story for another day.
Talking about being invited, this is the point where I wanted to end it.
Yeah.
So, story for another day for State House, but we just discovered.
Okay,
that,
but like, not to complicate things. What I mean is, the spaces whereby they need a musician to speak on behalf of other musicians.
Yeah.
I'm invited in those spaces to speak on behalf of musicians, on behalf of urban music, because you need to be a person of influence, not a person of bars.
I was going there because I was keeping this to be our closing. I wanted to close this with a very, very wow.
Well, they do come out every now and then.
All right.
Yeah.
In closing,
Yeah.
talk about influence, talk about representing and having substance.
Yeah.
You were at the launch of the digital archiving launched
Malawi
by
Digital
Kusoma,
Archive Project, yeah.
where you spoke about the status quo of
Monetization of music
in Malawi.
Yeah.
Can you tell us why you chose that and why you think it's important in a minute? What was in your speech?
Okay, basically, I didn't choose that. I was invited. I believe from previous engagements, I've been very active with Musicians Union of Malawi and Kosoma. And in those engagements, whenever there was an issue that needs to be discussed, I would come up to offer solutions, to offer ideas in my own perspectives. So people thought that I've got like information to share. So the Kosoma reached out to me through their executive director to invite me to speak on the status quo on monetization of music in Malawi. They knew that I've got some knowledge on digital marketing as well as monetization. So basically, the Malawi Archive Project, it's really about protecting, the copyright works of Malawian musicians, Malawian photographers, writers, all the people who are doing things that are copyrighted. To protect them, apart from protecting them, to create a digital archive to make sure we don't lose any of that. Marekoda jakapwanyika, matepe akanongeka, ndoti basi nyimbo yapita. No, we're trying to protect everything that came from Malawi for future generations. And also to accelerate e-commerce, whereby people will be able to sell their music, globally and also in Malawi, within Malawi. So my role was to really speak on how are musicians making money from music online. So I spoke about YouTube, I spoke about the DSPs, the digital streaming platforms, and how the relationships with Malawians, and how there's not many people on those platforms, but we've got many musicians in Malawi, and we've got Malawian sounds that need to be exported. Malipenga, Jagule Uja, all these sounds in Malawi need to be exported. They need to be enjoyed by the world. We need to create a Malawian sound. And also, platforms like Mikozi, MalawiMusic.com, Goluso, which was a project by Kosoma. Yeah. So I was explaining how all these platforms and how musicians are using all these platforms. That was my role. And also to identify the gap that would be filled by this project to make sure musicians are maximizing on making money through their music. Yeah, I think that was, in a nutshell, that was what that talk was about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Talking about supporting music and making sure that it's professionalized and all that.
Yeah.
You run its own entertainment.
Yes.
is it a record label?
It's an entertainment company. We started it in 2009. It started as Bantu Records. Initially, the idea was to make a record company. Then eventually, I think in 2012, 2013, we rebranded to its own entertainment to make it a fully fledged entertainment company. We've had, musicians that went through it, people like Manache, Zinja, Complex, the Jantas, the Esims, the Goas, and other people, that I worked with, but they're not really signed. They were just part of the system, So for me, I realized that I had to build a brand first, then support the brand. So I feel I've reached a stage whereby Its Own Entertainment is widely known and widely accepted. That's why I've started to sign artists. So far, I've signed a lady called Tario. She's a singer. I've signed Nere, and I'm also signing another a singer. My focus right now, initially, is to focus on promoting young women, young talented women. I know the boys, they've got people supporting them, the Driemos, the Ella Njuchis, and other guys who are coming up. But there's not really anyone who's focused on the girls.
Yeah.
So I chose in the first instance to focus on the girls, to promote the girls, because even in the industry, there's not too many female singers, not too many female rappers. So I'm trying to help bridge that gap to unveil more and more young, upcoming, talented female musicians, female rappers, producers, DJs who are females. So even right now, like you said, I go to the UK a lot. One of the things I'm doing there is we're buying equipment with my family for, a video studio, for an audio studio, for a picture studio, and equipment for public address and equipment for a band. We're buying pangono, the economy is bad. So whatever we find to kugula, pangono, so that it's a fully fledged entertainment company. So now that the name is there, we have started now to sign artists as we are buying our equipment. So that's the direction we're doing. It's an entertainment and media company. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Who did the tag? It's on entertainment.
It's Jay-Z in a song, Ignorant 2, a song he did with Lil Wayne. So at the end of the song, Jay-Z was ranting, in line with the concept of the song. So that line stood out for me, Its Own Entertainment. So I took it. So it's actually Jay-Z. The logo for Its Own Entertainment was done by a fellow rapper, Hyphen, is one who designed the logo. And the logo for Phyzix was done by a guy from Area 25. His name is Slim. I don't know where he is now, but yeah.
Yes, Slim.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Story for days, eh?
Yeah. I think this is like a worth of knowledge and expertise in different ways that I think everybody that watches this podcast, I'm sure it's gonna inspire like a lot of people.
I'm humbled.
To actually also
yeah.
look at physics in a way that physics is. Actually, that's why we love this platform, because we know when you sit here, it's a free space where you can say anything that you want to say.
I didn't know why people are getting so comfortable. I know now. I think I don't know because I've watched my brother Third Eye. He got comfortable.
Like why is he that comfortable?
I watched my brother Maringa. He got comfortable.
Now
I watched Temwa. She got comfortable. So I was like, when I go there, there's no way I'm getting comfortable.
I'm gonna like hold on.
All of a sudden, I'm comfortable. So you guys must be on some juju or something, What did you put in my water?
No, but personally, I love that because I think
that means your spirits are good, guys.
Yes,
You've got good spirits. I like that. I like that. Yeah.
It's the conversations, and that's what we want. And I think this space is serving the purpose.
Yeah.
Want to come here.
Yeah.
Even when you're in town sometime,
you
have got friends that when you're talking about this, they can even be there. Now we can have just raw conversations that, of course, not swearing, not but we can sit down and have drinks and have whatever and just keep this for the next generation to say,
Of course, there was an episode, your eyes were looking.
Drinks happen.
Drinks happen here. So,
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, but Phyzix, for me, I think it's a big honor to have you sit down with all your business, busy schedules and everything to come here.
I tried and I failed.
Yeah, he actually confessed to me like, no, when I saw you say, hey, podcast. I was like, hey man, I'm coming. I'm coming. For whatever reasons, he didn't want to come.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
it's oh wow, I don't know. As we're closing this podcast with you, Phyzix Noel Chikoleka has done his part. What is it that you want people to remember you for?
I feel like I'm still scratching the surface, man. I feel like there's a lot to be done, But for me, I think just somebody who never gave up, somebody who believed, somebody who believed that they could become better, they could do better. Somebody who eventually understood the power of love, love with your partner and also love just to everyone, somebody who believed that it's possible and a hard worker and somebody who believed in themselves. Yeah, but I feel like I'm still scratching the surface. There's a lot more that I can do because I believe in growing where you are planted. I'm not always going to be releasing singles, going on stage, but I've been planted in entertainment, in media, in marketing, in banking, So there's so much I could do. I could own a bank. I could own a marketing company. I could own a bar. I could own a liquor store. I could be doing events. I could be managing young artists. I could be president of the union, musicians union. I could be president of Malawi. I feel like there's so much I can do because at the end of the day, what I've discovered is you just need to believe. You just need to work hard. You need to have integrity. You need to pray, honestly. And you need to be purposeful about what you're doing. You need to set priorities. You need to be disciplined because it's only 24 hours in a day. You need to make sure you're not distracted from what you want to do. And when you do that, I feel like you can achieve anything, We are God's masterpieces. So in us, there's greatness. In each one of us, there's greatness. So you just need to tap into that greatness and be great, So, yeah, I know we're all going to die one day. Everyone. So let's just work hard to make impact, as we are alive, Yeah, very good, very good.
Very good. No, Phyzix, bro.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. And like I said, and thank you so much for making time to sit down with me for this conversation.
Yeah, no, I've enjoyed it.
And thanks to Mr. K-Leon.
I still don't know. I still don't know why I got comfortable. I still don't know.
It is what it is. It is what it is. No, but yeah. This interview has been amazing.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from you. I've been following you, and yeah, I wouldn't ask for more. I think a lot of people that are going to watch this interview will be inspired by your story and also who Phyzix really is than what they see on social media or they hear from whoever that they will
I'm grateful.
choose to trust.
Yeah.
So it's been podcast Malawi.
Are you sure you're done? Because I'm not coming back. There'll be no part 2. For the interview, no, my next single is coming out. Also, the interview, Magamba Zabesono. Okay.
We're done.
Phyzix.
We're done.
I call an interview. Call an interview. Izingo kala yomweyo basi. Muntu akandifusa ndizingotumiza link. Ndemamaliza. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Kellen, do you have anything? We don't. How many Phyzix?
No, I think he has explained it because for me, I knew him during Sunday school. So he used to come out of Kavanja grade 12. Yeah. If I'm a fan of Ramkudu Momo, no?
Wow.
There's a junior job on the best.
Yeah, kwa maeneo it's true. Ine zingotokoza ine nalofuta dikazi. Koma kufuta kwanga. In all of that, I always respected elders. Nani mfano jonena guti I said this is coming from my heart because of how I was raised by my mom. ndimatha kuona munthu wankulu atsika minibus oti sindikumudziwa ndimamunyamuliza bag ndikumperekeza mpaka kwawo. Ndikalandira chinthu ndimalandira ndi manja awiri. Munthu akandipangira chinthu ndimathokoza. Ndikafuna chinthu I would say please. So nali munthu wovuta komano I would say I credit my mom for giving me the basic principles to be a human in this world. Those are the kindness, love, respect your elders. Koma mafana usilo osasekerera. That has always been my principle. Be nice until they are not nice to you. So if I'm meeting you, trust me, I'll be nice to you. I'll respect you.
You watched the interview I did with Jedebos. So I'm going to gunda muntu.
That's story.
Okay, bruh, let me tell you, man. In the magazine DGD, we've got stories for days. So many experiences, And these are people who know me not just as a musician, but as a brother. Amandidziwa, my weaknesses anga, my strength anga. In inversely as well. Ineso ni madziwa parevo imene yoyo. You know what I mean? So I think it was just a fun way of saying, "Kuti, watu indovuta." For me, I'm very principled. Ngati ngini tuku sempana pena paka, I'll make sure mpaka timvane. So zimene zo zinachitikadi. Zinachitikadi. Koma sana kampaka, ndiyambeso kulongosola nanga. Anakampaka, so shout out Marcus and GD. Those are my brothers right there. Bruh, let me tell you the funniest story. When I was young, when 17, 18, thereabouts, even as Gulu Anga, and there's an 8-year difference between my brother. Agamba ndanta matondira na ine. Okay, ine ase nani fano fasa. Koma nimati nkangoti enda yakamoro ni mayakamoro zenize. So yeah, so that's why the stories keep coming. Komano, I was always respectful and graceful. The only vuto tisayambane. Bas. Musanyoze mayanga. Musanyoze my sister zanga. Imene makala mbola. Yeah, so that's how I grew up. I grew up good, be kind, be gentle, be giving, be loving, but don't let people take you for a fool. Yeah, that's what I grew up with.
I think you mama go fijana is on.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. That's what I grew up on, man. Like, just be kind and be giving, be loving.
Okay, so sometimes do you meet these people that like say mean stuff about you on social media, and you meet them, and how do you react to
I meet them all the time, and here's the funny part: they always come and give me a handshake. So I'm there like, so. I thought you were going to keep the same energy as you are doing on Twitter, as you're doing on Facebook. Because me, I'm ready. Ready. And the sindi vala trousers already man divuda kusunta mbondai. Ndazo sindi vala trousers already mwendo wangu usunta bobo. You know what I mean? So I'm ready. But these guys are coming saying hi. Hey, man, bobo. But I'm like, So sindi full, sindi kumbuta. Because trust me, I'm always on social media. And I know the people are talking, and the people behind. My platforms, and again, Malawi rap battle, Janchani. I know the people behind these platforms. Trust me, I'll find you. I know the people behind these platforms. Komano, tika kumana. They're being nice. So I'm like, okay, was that for clout, for social media engagement? What is it exactly? So for me, it shows me already you're a weak person. Because you need to keep the same energy. But if muntu wakumanaye, you're being nice for that he's in your presence. Trust me, I immediately lose respect. Because as a man or as a lady, you need to stand by your word. You need to be firm about it. When we meet, I send you a But if you're coming to say hi, money, for me, you have lost my respect. It means you are weak. That's what it is for me. If I see a weak person, it's useless to me. I'd rather just let them be weak and let them be.
Who would send you a copy in your presence?
You want to come?
So it's crazy, bruh. It's crazy. Hey, people say things about social media, but
Yeah.
You know? So, but
It's
yeah.
easy to say stuff there.
Yeah.
But when people meet you in person, just so you
It's
know,
so
when
different.
Yeah.
they just sometimes people are just broken
Yeah.
and they're looking for validation.
Exactly.
And
You know, social media, you need to understand it in that. I'm happy how you've brought it. You know, people are looking for validation. They're looking, you know, some people are not loved. Some people are going through certain things. So all you want is somebody to engage you. Whether mukuyambana, ka mukukondana, you're just looking for engagement. Somebody to give you attention. You know, we've got a lot of like absent fathers, you know, in this lifetime. People are looking just for that energy, that masculine energy. So people look for it in the weirdest places. You know, they look for it in the weirdest places. So social media is really feeding, you know, some of these negative energies. And if you don't understand that, that's why there's a lot of like mental health issues. Because people, I say social media is a battlefield.
Yeah.
If you go in unprepared, you can realize in no minute you are not who you were, because now you are embodying certain things that are not you, because you're looking for validation. You're trying to find a reason to live, a reason to be excited. Kuteke, namunyoza, ndipo zamuboa, ndipo wayanka. You get it? You know, it might sound silly now, but somebody's feeling like that's a win. You know, ndamunyoza fizo, ndipo wayanka. And I've tried, even like somebody say something in the nimangofuna yanke. Then you're like, bruh, what are we doing? What are we doing? You know, what are we doing? So you know you're mad, you know, and like, bruh, no, you ask yourself, what did you run? You know, to run, you know, to run, you know. So that's what it is, bruh.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we create a more environment to provide all the necessary.
Well, yes, yes.
In a Glen Fiddich or Jamison, make sure.
Yeah, we'll ensure.
Yeah, man.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, know your physics. It's
Yeah.
been a pleasure having you. I've been saying this, I think, throughout the last minutes of this podcast, but
Yeah.
no, we're glad that you came through. We have this conversation.
Yeah.
If there's anything that you wanted to find out from physics, you think we did not, drop those comments in the comments of this podcast, and we will get all those when we sit down with physics again, whenever it's gonna be. We're gonna bring all those issues.
Yeah.
But this is where we have raw conversations
Yeah.
from the heart, the way they are. We know a lot of people think, oh, you're there just to like start all these things, but we invite people to come here and have conversations from their perspective, their original stories, not as many and I'm going about social media and whatnot. And we love that. We love this space because of that. It's where we can have authentic, real conversations the way they are. Our goal is to create a space where we can just have conversations.
Yeah.
We're happy to have these one-to-one interviews, but we're also happy to grow this into a platform where people can come in, chill, and have different conversations from different perspectives.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we'll look into that, bringing the legends. Like let's do a legends conversations. Like everybody who's on the legends, sit there and just have conversations.
Yeah.
Cool. So thank you so much for tuning into this podcast today. Remember to subscribe to the channel, share this conversation with all your people, and hit the notification bell so you get notified when we upload another episode. I've been Dennis Iman on Conversation Podcast Malawi with the legendary, the most hardworking, award-winning, you can add everything, Phyzix. Until the next episode, it's peace.